Prices are already going up on some popular items, tires, strollers.
This is such a dishonest interview already. Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down at tremendous numbers for gasoline. And let me tell you, when you have the big thing, what he did, he spent like a stupid person, which he was, but he spent like a very stupid person. And that was bad for inflation. But what really killed us with inflation was the price of energy.
President Trump did an interview with Meet the Press's Kristen Welker going into Satan's lair. And boy, oh boy, it was absolute infuego. Translation, if you don't understand Spanish, absolute fire. And I've got the best clips for you, so you don't have to go anywhere. And let's start right away. Check out this first clip of our guy, President Trump.
Small businesses say they are being hurt by the Chinese tariffs, and some could be forced to shut down.
And many businesses are being helped.
Are you considering tariff relief for small businesses?
Why do you always mention that, you know, you pick up a couple of little businesses? What about the car business? They're going to make a fortune because of the tariffs. Do you know that the union, the head of the union, who was no fan of mine, Sean Fain, I guess his name is, right? He didn't endorse me. The Teamsters did. A lot of people did. A lot of unions did. But he didn't. He couldn't stand me. Now he's saying, wow, what Trump's done for the automobile, I can't believe it. I assume he's going to probably now say, the next thing he can say is, I endorse this guy. He's the greatest I've ever seen. He can't believe it's happened. He said, we've been waiting 40 years for somebody to do what Trump is doing. So why don't you mention the big car industry instead of mentioning somebody that's doing strollers?
Well, I'm just asking you about small businesses. Are there any discussions about giving any relief to small businesses?
They're not going to need it.
Okay.
They're going to make so much money.
Are these tariffs?
If you build your product here. Remember, there are no tariffs if you build your product here. It's very easy. It's very simple.
This is what people don't understand. He's incentivizing domestic production. How many of you would love to see it? Because I know I would. A Made in America tag on products again. We need to bring back manufacturing. We need to bring jobs to real Americans. We need to make our sector of building products, consumer goods, and services, we need to bring that back to levels. It's at the lowest level ever under Biden these last 4 abysmal years. And by the way, if tariffs are so bad, why does China do it? Why does the European Union do it? Why does Brazil do it? Why does India do it? Why does the UK do it? Why can't we? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Here's a question that we all knew would come. You know, they're talking about, oh, he wants to be a dictator and all this crap. Listen to Trump here, the way he answers this question. This is awesome.
What do you say to those who believe you are taking the country down an authoritarian path?
Well, there you go again. Why don't you ask it a different way? Many people wanted to come into our country. Many people love Trump. I won the election. They didn't win the election. I got a lot more votes than they did. I won the popular vote. I won all 7 swing states by a lot. A lot of people were surprised. I said, I think he could win 4, maybe 5. No, I won all 7, and I won by a lot. And I won, actually, I think there was a lot of hanky-panky going on, but it was too big to rig. That's the good news. It's too big to rig. But let me just say, so when you make these statements about, people say this, people, well, you know, they had their chance at the election and they lost big. So you should ask the question differently. You should say, what about the people that want to be in this country? What about the people that love this country?
But what do you say? I'm asking it on behalf of those people to give you a chance to respond to them. What do you say to those people, sir?
Those people are going to be very happy. They're going to have to see some results. And I think we had a great 100 days. There are a lot of people that say it was unprecedented. It was an absolutely unprecedented 100 days. And I hope that they're going to be right.
If you're happy with the first 100 days of our president, President Trump, give me a thumbs up emoji in the comments, or give me a yeah in the comments right now. I want to share this clip right here where he talks about him being the most investigated person in the history of the United States of America. Alfonso Capone come to mind?
Do you think people should have the right to criticize you without fear of reprisal?
Absolutely, yeah, I do. That I do.
And how do you square that?
And I think that happens.
How do you square that with the fact that you have passed these executive orders asking the Attorney General to look into some of the people who've criticized you, who've been harshest against you?
I have been investigated more than any person in the history of the United States of America. I've been investigated more than the late, great, as I say at my rallies, Alphonse Capone. Alphonse Capone was a nasty man. He was the highest level gangster. And I have been investigated more than Al Capone, more than anybody. These people are evil people, and I won. And I'll tell you what, all I want to happen is for the Department of Justice and the FBI. Pam is great and Cash is great. I think they're two great people, but they're their own people. They want to do a fantastic job. And all I want to do and all I want to ask for is that they be allowed to do their job. I'm not telling them to do anything, and I believe I have the right to do it. I'm, in theory, the top law enforcement officer as the president. We went over this once before, and it turned out I was right. But I'm not looking to use that. We have two great people, and we have many, many incredible people under them, and I just want them to do their job and do it well.
I think this is an aspect of Trump that people don't talk enough about, and that is character. He understands that he needs to focus his energy on saving America and saving American citizens. And if he dilutes his attention towards going after all the heathens, the Democrats, the hypocrites, the egregious lawbreakers out there who have undermined the criminal justice system and gone after him, he's not going to get the stuff done that he knows he needs to get done. I don't think enough people talk about this. We see a lot of people online saying, why hasn't Pam Bondi arrested? I don't see any arrests. Where's Kash Patel? This could be the reason why. Trump is saying, look, I'm staying out of it. I put people in charge. I appointed them and I trust them. It's not about retribution. This is about saving America. We got a job to do, and he's doing it in a fantastic fashion. What are your thoughts on what I just said? Let me know in the comments. Here's an important clip talking about Ukraine that I think may be the most powerful clip. Watch this.
You just signed a minerals deal with Ukraine. It's a sign, it seems, that the United States is invested in Ukraine's future. The Secretary of State told me this is a very critical week. Are you any closer to reaching a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia?
I hope so.
How would you characterize
I do believe we're closer with one party and maybe not as close with the other, but we'll have to see. I'd like to not say which one we're closer to, but we did do a deal for the American people that was good. We were able to get rare earth. You know, the Europeans are getting paid back. They have a loan. We didn't. Biden just gave him $350 billion. He has no idea where the money is, what happened. And at least we'll, in one form or another, get our, I don't feel so foolish. And remember this is Biden's war. This was a war that was never going to happen if I were president. This is a horrible, horrible war. And I get to see shots of soldiers through, satellite that are just so terrible. 5,000 soldiers are being, 5,000 soldiers a week on average are dying. They're not American soldiers. But I want to solve the problem. They're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers. And if I can save 5,000 souls, I just love doing it.
How long do you give both countries before you're going to walk away?
Well, there'll be a time when I will say, okay, keep going, keep being stupid.
When does that come? Are you close to it?
Sometimes I get close to it and then positive things happen. Okay?
What's the red line for you? At what point do you say, that's it, we're walking away?
Well, there'll be a time when I may say that. And if I do, there may be something I can't, maybe it's not possible to do. There's tremendous hatred, just so you understand. Kristen, we're talking tremendous hatred between these two men and between, some of the soldiers, frankly, between the generals. They've been fighting hard for 3 years. I think we have a very good chance of doing it.
This is another thing that I think doesn't get talked about enough is his flexibility. He's not very rigid. Same thing with the tariffs. He's not a demagogue. He's not somebody who, it's the exact opposite of a dictator. He doesn't say, no, we're going to do this and that's it. He's the exact opposite of a narcissist. He's very, very willing, because he's been successful in business and he's actually held real jobs in the real world running companies. He understands that things change and sometimes things change rapidly and you need to adapt. And I always love the fact that he's saying, you know what? I'm willing to say this, or I'm willing to change my mind. I'm willing to look at it again. I'm willing to look at it from a different perspective. That is true leadership. People look at that as weakness. That is strength. It is great strength to go back on an idea, policy, initiative, what have you, after new information, new intelligence is introduced because situations change. This is not a vacuum. Things are not linear. Life is not linear. And I love the fact that he's willing to acquiesce when needed. Check out this clip where he talks about what happens after this term and the potentiality of who will take the reins next. This is very interesting.
Are you seriously considering a third term, Mr.
No,
President, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution? Or is this about staying politically viable?
I will say this. So many people want me to do it. I have never had requests so strong as that. But it's something that, to the best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to do. I don't know if that's constitutional that they're not allowing you to do it or anything else, but there are many people selling the 2028 hat. But this is not something I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have 4 great years and turn it over to somebody, ideally a great Republican to carry it forward. But I think we're going to have 4 years, and I think 4 years is plenty of time to do something really spectacular.
He's the master troll. I mean, he knows how to drive the left completely bonkers. They just don't have a sense of humor. They're making a big deal now out of this post of this AI image of him being Pope. This is master trolling. He doesn't want to be Pope. It's called humor. If you're colorless, lifeless, ballsless, spineless, feckless, like the entire radical left, yeah, you're going to be in an uproar because your whole life is consumed with rage. You're poisoned from the inside out. You're rotten to the core. But our president has an amazing sense of humor. Selling a 2028 Trump hat. No true supporter of him and his administration ever took this seriously, ever took the Pope picture seriously. He just has a sense of humor, and he knows that this triggers the left to no end. This is a battle of wits, and Trump is winning in spades. Let me know what you think. Speaking of the left being completely colorless and lifeless, watch out what he says here when Kristen Welker asks Trump about the movement surviving beyond him. Watch this.
You have built a political movement that has transformed the Republican Party. It's transformed the country, quite frankly.
Political movement in history, MAGA. Make America great again.
When you look to the future, Mr. President, do you think the MAGA movement can survive without you as its leader?
Yes, I do.
What gives you?
I think it's so strong, and I think we have tremendous people. I think we have a tremendous group of people. We talked about a number of them. You look at Marco, you look at J.D. Vance, who's fantastic. You look at, I could name 10, 15, 20 people right now just sitting here. No, I think we have a tremendous party. And you know what I can't name? I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray.
You can say that again, Mr. President. We're all with you. I want to share a couple of light moments where he talks about building a ballroom at the White House, as well as a big, beautiful military parade. Watch these 2 clips right here.
President Trump greeting supporters at an RNC fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago, showing us the main ballroom at his private club and sharing new details about the one he plans to build at the White House.
We are going to make and build a ballroom, which they've wanted for probably 100 years at the White House. And it'll be a world-class, beautiful ballroom.
A ballroom that could cost millions of dollars. He says he will pay for it himself.
You will fund it.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask the government for money. I'll fund it, and I'm sure we'll have some donations to it.
And then check out this clip right here. This is President Trump talking about bringing greatness, pageantry, back, and glory back to our military.
We're going to have a big, beautiful parade.
A military parade?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're going to celebrate our military. We have the greatest military in the world.
What's the price tag? Do you know?
Peanuts compared to the value of doing it. We have the greatest missiles in the world. We have the greatest submarines in the world. We have the greatest army tanks in the world. We have the greatest weapons in the world. And we're going to celebrate it.
A big, beautiful parade. One of the things that I love, besides all the billions of other things that he's done, is the renewed sense of American pride. I've said this once, I've said it twice, and I'll say it again. There is nobody, there hasn't been a president in my lifetime, when you watch and listen to him at a rally, when you watch and listen to him on any clip of any policy, initiative, whatever he's doing, I always feel electrified. I always feel more invigorated. My sense, my love of my country has never been more revitalized after President Trump doing his thing time and time again. Not once have I ever felt that way. Listening to the former vegetable in chief, listening to any Democrat, President Trump has brought the spirit of 76 back in a very powerful way. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this. You can always watch the full interview online or wherever your stations are streaming that. But I'd love to get your comments. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.